So the second bit of news is the Alexa XT cameras. We have 4 new cameras, the Alexa XT, Alexa XT-M, Alexa XT Plus, and Alexa XT Studios. Now, for these cameras, we've actually kept the price of the camera body exactly the same, but there are 7 new features in these cameras. And I'll go through these 7 new features right now. We're starting with the XR module. It's this new side panel on the camera here, and the XR module can take, open it up, the so-called XR capture drive. These are the fastest digital magazines available right now. They're made by Codex, ARRI sells them, and they have 6.7 gigabits per second. That's the fastest we can go. With that, we can record uncompressed, unencrypted ARRIRAW at 120 frames a second, or ProRes 4x4 at 120 frames a second, something that wasn't previously possible. So you can record ARRIRAW on here in camera, you can record ProRes, you can record DNx HD, but you can also record with the S/S Pro cards. And the way that works is you don't use this magazine, you use an adapter. Here's the adapter that goes in the XR module, and it allows you to still use S/S Pro cards to record DNx HD or ProRes inside the Alexa. This is a wonderful, wonderful unit, and the very cool thing is if you use ARRIRAW, you take this magazine out, you can then use the whole Codex workflow in order to process your images. These guys have worked very hard on this workflow, and they know exactly what they're doing with that, so it's nothing we had to invent from scratch. So that's the first feature. It's the XR module, built-in ARRIRAW, makes the whole thing smaller, lighter, and actually less expensive to shoot ARRIRAW. Now the second feature is a new filter module. We have a filter holder built into the camera. It actually sits here in the lens mount, and there are new filters that you can put into that filter module. These filters are so-called full spectrum neutral density filters, which means that they actually attenuate the whole spectrum evenly. So if you have a very dense filter like an ND 2.1, you don't have any color tint at all. It's really quite amazing. And you use the tool, you use the ARRICAM ground glass tool in order to manually put a filter in there. Now the great thing is once you have a filter in there, when you change lenses, the filter actually protects the sensor from any dirt. So it actually helps a little bit with sensor hygiene. All right, that's the second feature. The third feature is all the new XT cameras have a 4x3 sensor. Now our sensor is actually very, very tall, so not only can we do 16:9, but we can also go 4x3, which is great for anamorphic shows because it's about the same size image as you had on film, so the anamorphic lenses have the same angle of view. But the other cool thing is, with spherical lenses, you can do repositioning. You can move the image up or down, which is great if you have a microphone on the top, if you have dolly tracks, or, I was told this happens frequently, an actor sits up or sits down or gets up too quickly. In that case, you can do a little bit of up-down repositioning in post. So that's the third feature, 4x3 sensor. Fourth is the lens data system. All the Alexa XT camera have a lens data mount, which is right here, which allows them to read the information from the ARRI lens data system lenses. We're working on support for the Cook/I, so that'll be included soon. And then if you have a non-LDS lens, you can still use it. As long as you use a motor, you can actually call up a feature on the Alexa called the Lens Data Archive, where you have a lens table in the camera, and you still get all the lens metadata. Now, what do you do with the lens metadata? First of all, people like Transvideo, they display them on their monitors right there on the set. Our wireless control unit can display the metadata, which makes working on the set very easy and comfortable. But in post, you can use the lens metadata to very quickly do some compositing. In fact, we just had a presentation here where they were doing a car commercial and they were shooting with the lens data system, and it really sped up the compositing in post, putting the CG car into the actual real scenes shot. So number 5 is a new viewfinder mounting bracket. This new viewfinder mounting bracket is right here. It is actually much more sturdy than the previous viewfinder mounting brackets, and it consists of 2 15mm lightweight rods that are at the same distance from the optical axis as the lightweight rods below the lens. The advantage of that is you can hang your motors now, or your matte box or your follow focus from these top rods, leave everything down here clean, which really speeds up changes from the tripod to the Steadicam to the crane. And then that was number 5. Number 6 is we include 2 licenses. The high-speed license and the anamorphic D-squeeze license are included now with every XT camera. And then number 7 is there's a new fan in here. Not that the old fan was very loud, but this new fan is much, much quieter. And the sound people tell us a camera can never be quiet enough. So that was the Alexa XT camera.